Hi everybody, this is Tor Storley and I am back with another video. In this video, we're going to take a look at something called InstantSQL. InstantSQL is developed by Motherduck. This came out not too long ago. I saw it first time a couple of days ago, so it's pretty new. I want to show you today how you can bring InstantSQL into your duckDB UI environment. I'll show you a couple of different things with it and I'll talk to it as I go. So what I want to do first is show you where you can find this information. So let me open my Chrome. You want to go to this page, which is Motherduck. At Motherduck's, and you just do a Google search for InstantSQL Motherduck, and you're landing on this page here when you get there. So they show you here, you can read it yourself. I'm not going to dwell on this page. But as you can see here, they lay out some scenarios that you can try out yourself. So make sure you take a look at this page and the information on this page. So that's the first place you should go. Obviously, you should go to duckDB. duckDB has a website like this. You can, go to documentation. You can get started. You can do searches. You can go to blogs and read up. So there's all kinds of information here. Check that out. And once you install duckDB, you can also access the UI, the duckDB UI. I have this icon here. Just open a shell, or terminal, I should say, for duckDB. So when I get here like this, you can see this is what it looks like. What you can do once you open this, you can open up your duckDB UI. You can do a search here in Google, do a duckDB UI, and as you can see here, you're ending up here. When you click in here, you can see there is a blog post here. And the one I'm interested in, depending on how you open this, like I open my terminal for duckDB first. So all I really need to do, if you go to a command window, you can type in this command, or you can also just use this call start_UI if you're inside the terminal window for duckDB, the CLI version. So what I can do now is, this is what it looks like. I can simply paste that call start UI. Right here, it opened up this page for me. And here you have some notebooks you can look at and play around with if you want to get this up to speed with duckDB UI. I want to demonstrate this InstantSQL. So once you're inside the duckDB UI, you should already have access to this. One thing you should do if you want to test all of the stuff that I'll show you is also create an account with Motherduck. You can just sign up with your Google account or something like that and just get in there. Now, when you open this, you automatically have access to the Motherduck environment here. And that's going to be interesting when we show some of the features that are in here. So the first thing I want to do then in this blank notebook is just to add another cell. And as you can see, it opens up a little cell here. And what you can do is you can have the default. That means every time you do something, you change a query, what have you, change the wording, what have you, you have to run it, and you have to run it, and have to run it. So what they're trying to solve here is basically give you a preview over the query as you build it. So in other words, it will basically sample the data set and create a smaller data set and keep displaying the results as you move through your query. And it does that by using query tree structure behind the scene. So what the InstantSQL query is doing behind the scene is taking a sample of your data. It uses a scalar JSON extension function to obtain the parser tree that is going to go through in order to parse your query. The first thing I need to do, however, I need to add my own database to this because right now it's set for memory. I can add another database right here. I'm going to use file. Then I'm going to just point to this fin statement database, which basically holds financial statement data from balance sheet, from income statement and cash flow statement for AbbVie Inc., the company. So I'm going to point to that and I want to give it a name. So I'm just going to call it FinDB. You should have it available up here in the corner. So that's the one I want to select and work with that database. Okay, so right now you can see it's over here. And you can see there's a financial statement right here. And under there, you can see these are the tables. So you have the balance sheet. You can see some sample metadata here, and cash flow and income statement and so forth. So what I want to do is I want to use this database for some of my queries here. So let me copy this parser select statement from here. And as you can see, this is the JSON scalar function, and I'm going against this database table right here. So I'm using JSON serialized SQL, and you have to put your query in string because it's going to be parsing it out here in form of a JSON object. So I can run this now, and when I do, I'm getting this. Now it's very hard to read, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Okay, so here I opened a blank notepad++, and let me paste this here. And let's go and see if we can format this. JSON. Okay, so I formatted here, and you can see this is what it looks like. So this is the parser tree that duckDB will be using for this query here. So it's a plain vanilla. There's not too much going on. But this will load very fast, and that's what's being used behind the scenes to do this Instant SQL. All right, so there's a little bit about the background of it here. So you can use this select JSON serialized. Let's add another cell, and let me get into this here. So what I did was I created a couple of things here. So what the first thing I want to do is I want to just kind of start drilling in to this database here in the table so you can kind of see how it reacts. So I'm going to do like a basic from statement, basically select star from. What you do to activate this instant, you just drop list this, and instead of default where you have to run it every time you make changes, you go to Instant SQL like this. So what it will do, it will start showing you output right away, as you can see over here. So that's kind of cool because you get instant view of what you're doing. So at this point, you can start basically adding to this query. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to add a CTE around this so you can see some of the things here that happens. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm basically calling this balance sheet, BS for balance sheet. And now that I have this with statement, and I can say from BS, and then I can start drilling in. I could also use some other statements here. I could change this. Remember, I haven't run this query yet. AbbVie income statement like this. And then I can use, now you see I'm getting accounts right away here. I'm going to copy this portion of my query and paste it in here. And then I'm simply saying from here. So there's 3 CTEs here. There's BS for balance sheet. Here I named it INC. Okay, so that's the income statement. And notice as I click over it, you see the results right away. See, here's the balance sheet. Here's the income statement. And here is the cash flow statement. And you can see it comes back with results. And when I click over here from, it goes back to the balance sheet because that's the actual CTE I'm using in this case. So now I can add to it. I can start typing in like where, for example, account. And I want to say, I want to filter down the record sets a little bit. So I'm going to say where account is like, but I'm going to use something called I like. And you use I like instead of like when you are basically querying for case insensitivity. So in other words, whether it's written in uppercase or lowercase, or the first letter is uppercase but not the others, you can use this I like. So it's case insensitive. So I can say when it's equal to, maybe I start with total. And notice because I have the caps on, it right in the TOT. And then when I put this on, you can see it brings back right away. I haven't run this yet. It's just sampling it out for me. So that's what it's meant by Instant SQL. So here you can see now I'm getting some accounts from here. Then I can add maybe and account number is greater than, let's say 1100. As you can see, it immediately filtered it out for me here. All right, so that's that portion. You can also query outside this database. Right now I'm running my local duckDB instance here, but you can also run against a file that sits on the internet. So what I have done here, this is my repo out on GitHub, and I just went in somewhere to find some data. So I just looked at this, okay, there's a JSON file here. So what I did was I just I view the raw format. So this is what this JSON file will look like. I can copy a query that goes against this file. So how do you do that? Well, I'm going to paste this guy, and all it says is from, and then I have the URL that points to that JSON file right here. When I do InstantSQL, I haven't run anything yet. So I clicked onto this address here, and notice what's happening in the background here. It actually went out there and it grabbed the data from that internet file, and it shows up here now. So if you want to work with this, it's probably a good idea to wrap this in a CTE. So you can do something like this maybe. So we'll call it fast food maybe. And I also want to take out this semicolon here so we can work with it. From fast food, this. And I can maybe filter it. So I can say where city is like MOR. So you can see it here, this column right here. Morton, Morgan. And notice as I click through these values, you can click in and you can copy the values you're clicking over, whether it's the street address, the name of the restaurant, etc. So here it's been filtered. And then I can also say, hey, maybe I'm only interested in a couple of states and not all of the states. So to reduce the data set further, I can just do this. So now I'm only looking for restaurants in Illinois and California that starts with MOR. You can also sort. So maybe I want to sort this stuff. Remember, I haven't queried anything yet. So I order by city, descending, or I can say ascending. Okay, so now I see all the data, and now here I'm filtering by city. And here you can see it's the state. Let's sort by state. It's a little easier to read it. Let's just say state. State. Notice as I click up, you see all the data, click down here, now it applies the filters. So it's pretty cool the way it actually lets you move around here. Okay, so that's the second query I wanted to show you. Now the third one I want to show you, you need to have Motherduck available in order to do it. So I'm going to say add a new cell. Then what I'm going to choose, I'm going to actually not choose FinDB, but I'm going to sign into Motherduck here and actually load Motherduck up so I can actually run this stuff. So here is my login right there. And I want to go back to my InstantSQL demo right here. I'm going to write a query here. So let me paste this like so. So that's just a regular query from that file that we just did, right? So what I can do now is, because I'm logged in to Motherduck here, but you can see that's the name I gave myself up here, StoralTX. You can see if you want to go to Motherduck, you can log in there and still run it from your UI here, the local copy. But one thing you can do is just say select like this. And when you press in Windows, this is, when you press Control K, and you can find that out on that InstantSQL page out there on Motherduck, to what the commands are for your environment. But Control K, and now notice, what do you want to change here? So it pops up this thing here, and now what you can do is you can use AI, and you can enter a prompt. I created this prompt here, and I just want to use that to rewrite my query here. So I'm saying, filter the fast food CTE, this one up here, where only the cities starting with RA appears, along with the state column. Make the city filter case insensitive. So let me just bring it a little further here. Make the city filter case insensitive and order by state and city in ascending order. There you have it. Now what I can do is generate an edit, and it runs through the AI. So here you can see it's doing something here, and it came back. And it shows select city, state from fast food, where lower city like RA. It didn't make it case insensitive here. Well, it did, but it used the lower. Let me try one more time and see if this one changes, because when I ran it before, it didn't use this lower. So we're going to try it again, and well, it kept that, I guess. So anyways, that's the query we came up with, and this is using AI in the background to complete this query. Now, does it work? Well, let's find out. Let's run it. So now I'm running it, and it came back, and here you can see the results. They look correct to me. Alabama, California, because I didn't filter by those two states. I just search for RA, but it sorted it correctly by state and then by city here. I just want to show you this. It's pretty cool and it's very new. These are the queries you can play around with and basically debug your queries very fast, very efficiently, and see the results before you even run it over and over and over and over again. So I just want to share this with you. I hope you like this video. If you do, please give me a like and consider subscribing to my channel. That'd be great. Also, give me feedback of how I'm doing so I have something to go by. Okay, very good. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.